of where I've been and where I came from. Grew up on 913 of Blue Rock. Memories of 6 kids running around those halls. Then out in the California sunshine, we wore no shoes through alleys and shattered windows throwing baseballs. Mom packed me a brown bag every day. From 5 years old.
Slightly growing within me, like a thunder breaks a tree. Oh my, makes me crazy. My body aches and my mind's lazy. My head feels weird, I'm feeling numb. I should stop waiting for you done, but I'm scared. Just waiting for the strike, tear my insides into, till you show your bloody face, getting to beat my tiny space. I'm just waiting for the strike, tear my insides into. Wish I never existed, but how would have I done without you dancing like some twisted? All of us will not be gone. Oh yes, I'm scared when you're not around, 'cause we had.
Two, three, four.
I am not a raincoat here to keep you warm. Go back in your closet after the storm. I'm not a match simply waiting to burn. All I am is a friend, your friend till the end. I never felt tomorrow closing in this fast. Oh, I guess time's in a rush. Leaves are falling down, but at least they grow back. While I'm on a one-way track. Now I know what it means to grow. Yeah, now I know the time I've got, it is just enough to get by. Yeah, it is just enough to get by. Sometimes I understand I'm making all the wrong commands in life. It never pays in the end. But still I am here, moving on like before. I'm yearning to reach the shore. Now I know what it means to grow. Yeah, now I know the time I've got, it is just enough to get by. Oh, now I know
the ones that you could. No glimpse of doubt.